I built my life on logic, restraint, and silence, but you walked in with fire in your chest and turned every calculation into ash without even trying. I've survived storms by staying cold, by never reacting, by never needing, but your presence shattered that illusion in seconds. I thought emotional distance was strength until I realized it was just armor, and you found every crack without touching me. Years of discipline taught me how not to feel, yet one look from you undid everything I was so proud of controlling. I don't lose composure easily, but around you, my calm feels borrowed, fragile, like it was never really mine. I trained myself to anticipate every outcome except the one where you make me forget why I started protecting myself at all. You didn't break my defenses with force, you melted them with sincerity, and that terrifies me more than violence ever could. I used to believe emotions were liabilities until yours showed me they can be weapons and sanctuaries. I've outplayed fear, outweighted pain, outsmarted loss, but I don't know how to outlast the way you look at me. I spent years mastering self-control, only to discover that your intensity rewrites every rule I thought was unbreakable. I stay cold because warmth invites loss. But with you, I find myself wanting the burn anyway. I thought I was untouchable, emotionally bulletproof, until you stood close enough to make me forget why I needed protection. You didn't demand vulnerability. I surrendered it without realizing when or how. I've been calm in chaos, silent in heartbreak, steady in disaster, yet you make my pulse betray me instantly. I don't fall apart. I calculate, retreat, adapt, but your presence makes me hesitate, and that's new territory. I once believed detachment was wisdom, but your intensity feels like truth knocking violently on my door. Every wall I built was meant to keep danger out, yet somehow it also kept meaning away until you arrived. I don't let people see the unguarded parts of me, but you see them anyway, as if I never hid them. I've always chosen control over connection, but you make connection feel like the greater power. I used to think emotions were distractions. Now I realize yours are revelations. I never feared being alone. I feared needing, but your presence makes need feel honest, not weak. I've walked away from deeper attachments than this, yet something about you stops me mid-step. I don't usually feel exposed, but with you, even my silence feels loud. I learned how to survive by staying distant, but you make me want to live closer. You didn't chase me. I followed you without realizing I'd abandoned my defenses. I used to pride myself on emotional discipline until I discovered how fragile discipline becomes in your orbit. I can read rooms, people, intentions, but I can't read why you undo me so effortlessly. I don't react impulsively, yet my body responds to you before my mind can intervene. I've survived heartbreak by never let it begin, but with you, the risk feels worth the damage. You make me question whether the walls I built were protecting me or imprisoning me. I thought staying guarded was maturity, but your intensity feels like a higher form of courage. I've always believed composure was strength until I felt how powerful it is to be shaken by the right person. I don't lose until it's control. I surrender it selectively, and somehow you were chosen without consent. I trained myself to feel nothing deeply, yet you awakened everything at once. I never planned on being vulnerable again, but you arrived like a force of nature, unannounced and undeniable. I don't trust easily, but my instincts soften around you without explanation. I used to think emotional distance made me untouchable, but you touch me without hands. I don't break patterns, I outgrow them, and you are the reason this one is ending. I spent years perfecting restraint, yet one conversation with you unraveled decades of discipline. I thought I was immune to intensity until yours felt like home instead of danger. I don't open doors I've locked for survival, but you make me reach for the key voluntarily. I've been composed through losses that should have destroyed me, yet your presence destabilizes me gently. I used to believe vulnerability was reckless, but with you, it feels deliberate. I've learned how to walk away without looking back, but something about you keeps my feet planted. I don't expose weaknesses, yet around you, honesty feels stronger than concealment. I thought I knew myself completely until you reflected parts I'd buried too deep to acknowledge. I don't let intensity in because it demands truth, and you demand nothing while receiving everything. I've mastered emotional silence, but you make me want to speak without rehearsing. I don't usually feel seen, analyzed maybe, but you see without dissecting. I stayed cold to survive, but with you, warmth feels like evolution.